This hour, economics professor William Babwatin is warning that the Ghanaian economy is yet to fully recover from COVID. It is coming out to the Finance Minister to announce a review of GDP estimates and the 2022 macroeconomic target following the 5.4% growth rate recorded for last year. But speaking on PM Express, the business edition, Professor Babwatin said the Russian-Ukraine war is a major threat to the current gains.
Russia is a big player when it comes to global economy. And if you look at Ukraine, I mean, they are a source of raw materials, inputs for production of many things that we are thinking about. So there will direct or indirect effect one way or the other. So we have to be cautious. And of course, even though we think that the COVID is almost over, we should not jubilate now. I think we should tread cautiously and not be too much jubilant, but try to go strategically. And I'm sure by a year or two, we can then say that, well, things are okay.
Prof, is it in terms of policy response or at the individual consumption and spending level? Because I knew people who've moved all the way from London to Ghana because they couldn't stand the restrictions in London and they wanted psychologically, some have gone through a lot of problems, and some are saying that being even locked down or restrictions and all those things, now they can even go out and all the rest. Isn't the spending even good for the economy? Or maybe you are talking about the policy response where government might go to sleep and say, listen, you have recovered, hooray, let me go and sleep.
Well, it's a combination of factors. I think Ghana managed the COVID quite well. I mean, we all have the evidence. So, and therefore, we can say that, well, we've done well. And policy responses was also quite good. And that is why you expect that some people from UK will come to Ghana. And we can still continue to do better. And I look at it from the expenditure side. I think that is where government should be very prudent in its expenditure measures. We still have to come up with a very good measure to sustain the fiscal as we have.
Well, ahead of May Day celebration on the 1st of May, the Union of Industry, Commerce and Finance Workers wants the government to address the concerns of labour in order to get the full backing to grow the economy for the benefit of everyone. Organised labour is calling for a salary increment in line with the current inflation rate, among others. UNICOF also wants organised labour to address the concerns of all workers ahead of the May Day celebration. Amegashi is the General Secretary and has been speaking to Joy Business.
It's been a very difficult and challenging moment. You must know that since the cedi started to depreciate against all the foreign currencies, it impacts negatively on the purchasing power. And as a result, whatever our members receive as salary is eroded, because as a country, we are into importation of almost everything. So that had impacted negatively on us. And it is one of the areas that we addressed yesterday in the forum, that governments must be able to meet all these challenging situations, engage organized labor for us to address them appropriately and timely, so that at least we all remain at peace to continue with our various jobs. What we proposing had to do with the general overhauling of our economy as far as the incomes paid to workers are concerned, and secondly, to also address the hardship that we face. For instance, when you take the transport sector, once fuel price increase, you must know that it affects almost everything. So the discussion was that what can the government do to alleviate the plight? What can the government do looking at, for instance, curtailing the periodic and ever-increasing prices that we are seeing at the pump prices. Some would want to attribute that to the war between Russia and Ukraine. But don't forget that we have had all these problems on hand before the war started yesterday. If you had listened to some meaningful people in this country, they were even calling on the government to reduce the taxes that they had placed on the petroleum products. So if some of these things are looked at and addressed properly, it can really solve a portion of the problem before they will be addressing the rest. Because invariably, everything that had to do with transportation definitely would be charged to the final consumer. So that is where the government must address it. Let me also use this opportunity to also say that the government itself is not encouraging or is not even ready to improve upon the transportation system in the country. So look at our railways. If the government should have a system where it can also support the farmers, cutting their goods from the farms to the market centers, you may not have market queens and market kings who will go to cheat the farmers, bring it to the market centers, and sell at higher prices. So if the government will be able to address this, it's happening in other countries. Our neighboring country, Cote d'Ivoire, you go to Cote d'Ivoire, the government control about 60 to 70% of the transport system. So they're able to control it. If the government controls that and provided a lot of basics, the trains are working, then we should be able to be getting all these support. But here in Ghana, the road sector, I must say that the transport sector is purely in private hands. So you realize that anytime the prices in fuel goes up, they have no option, absolutely no option than to increase the transport fares that invariably affect everything that we do in the economy.
Now, Expertise France, a subsidiary of the French development agency AFD, has earmarked a €15.5 million fund to SMEs for their development in Ghana and the rest of Africa. Now, the move is to use digital skills to upgrade the competitiveness of entrepreneurs across the country. Speaking at a signing ceremony with the Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the CEO of Expertise France, Jeremy Pellet, expressed confidence in the fund's aiming to recover local businesses.
We have built together with the European Union, with the Agence Française de Développement, with our friends from the Belgian cooperation, ENABEL, this program. It's a €15.5 million program covering many countries actually in Africa and in the Caribbean. And we are proud at Expertise France to implement part of this program, which will result in the development of skills and digital content among MSMEs, and that will also imply, of course, a cooperation with actors such as the National Chambers of Commerce here in Ghana, but also in Cote d'Ivoire, in Benin, in Togo. And we will also work with the West African Federation of Chamber of Commerce. So the launch of the training today is very timely, and it will yield important results, I hope, for Ghana, for the private sector. We had many participants. We will certainly give you more details on the participation today, but I understand that the participation was strong, with a strong representation of women. That's good, more than 60%, if I'm correct. We target to expand this activity and target maybe 8 times more people and participants from all regions of Ghana. And companies that will participate to the training will also be able to enroll on digital platforms after the training, enhance their online visibility, boost their credibility, and facilitate cross-border transactions.
Well, meanwhile, the country director of the AFD, Christophe Cortec, has entreated businesses in Ghana to adopt digital tools for a swift recovery from COVID-19.
AFD Group in Ghana is meant to support sustainable development and growth. And for France, and I think I can speak in the name of the ambassador of France too, at the heart of sustainable development and growth, you have MSMEs. And the best tool, I think, to support MSMEs is to support institutions like yours, Chamber of Commerce. That's the more efficient. So now I think we have reached something. The AFD Group is composed of 3 entities. One is financing basically the improvement of business environment by supporting the public sector. That's what we have been doing in Ghana for more than 30 years now. We have been supporting agriculture, energy, urban development, and more generally, public governance. I hope it starts to bring some fruits, and I'm sure it is. The second entity is Proparco, who is financing directly the private sector, especially the banks, especially major companies, enterprises, and currently new projects and new financial agreements are being signed with different banks and so.
Well, the president of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Clement Osei-Amoako, has been outlining some reforms by the chamber to deepen the participation of women in digital operations.
We realized that after the COVID, a lot of businesses were collapsing, and there were new dynamics of doing business, that people have to move away from their normal way of doing business to move deeply into information technology. And therefore, it was very paramount that we also look at how we can train our members to take advantage of the opportunity there. Let me once again also express the Chamber appreciation for the cooperation agreement that we signed on 25th August 2021 with Expertise France to undertake a comprehensive digital skill training program for MSMEs to enable them to become more agile and resilient. You find this more exciting comparing because technology continues to be a dominant force in the driving of the economy. And you know, as it was said earlier, the Vice President is key about making sure that we move into digital in every sphere of our business in this country, even in the banking sector, the way we do business, IT, everything about information technology and digitalization is paramount to the heart of the government.
You're watching The Marketplace. We're going for a short break. We'll be right back. Just stay with us. Employers and business leaders are being charged to create a balance by adopting a shared reward scheme to motivate employees, as well as develop a penalty table to address unethical situations. According to the Chief Executive of Automation Ghana Group, Kweku Asma, incentivizing staff with a 13th or 14th salary encourages them to achieve set targets. We have more in this report.
Speaking at a workshop organized by the Stanford Seed Transformation Network Ghana chapter, Chief Executive of Automation Ghana Group, Kweku Asma, highlighted some key points he believes are fundamentals of a successful business.
The shared reward scheme enables employees to identify themselves and their position and the role they play in achieving the company's success. Now, if you know that you have a stake in a certain output, you would definitely give it your all. If you know that you play a role in your small corner, and at the end of the day, the bigger picture is for the bosses to enjoy, you will definitely not give it your all. And the company's objective is to offer a service. And the customer has an expectation. He has a certain requirement. And how do you get it? You need people to be committed to the timeline, to the quality, and to the cost that has been agreed with the customer. And so it's very important that you have committed employees. On the issue of see something, say something. Obviously, if somebody is doing something contrary to the rules and regulations, and you see it and you observe, and there's failure, at the end of the day, your company who pays you obviously will not be successful.
President of the Stanford Seed Transformation Network Ghana chapter, Linda Ya Ampa, indicated that her outfit seeks to empower businesses to succeed, but she believes companies cannot succeed if employees are not in sync.
For members of the Seed Transformation Network, our objective is to help businesses transform. Now, you can't do this alone. We need a team to work with. There are basic principles that we need to work with to help businesses to grow, and that includes being ethical in all our dealings, thinking critically, thinking outside the box. So this is why we chose this theme for this first of a series that we are going to be rolling out. We need those to be able to help our businesses and the staff that we have, our management team, to be able to work in a certain way to be able to grow the businesses.
The theme for the workshop was influencing teams through ethics and critical thinking.
Now, with the advancement of technology and Semantic Web, the Ghana Unity DAO, in partnership with Harmony One Vision, is working to bridge the unemployment gap with its sensitization program. Now, the move is also aimed at creating opportunities for the youth to use innovative ways to establish their own businesses. We have more in this report.
Semantic Web, known popularly as Web3, is an extension of the World Wide Web through standards set by the World Wide Web Consortium. The goal of the Semantic Web is to make internet data machine-readable. At a panel discussion hosted by the Ghana Unity DAO, a digital native of entrepreneurs delved into how Africans can take advantage of the introduction of Web3 at all sectors. Here is the head of governor for Ghana Unity DAO, Del Titus Bewa.
So Web3, in simple sense, is the next phase of the internet, right? In every industry, things go through cycles. We are at a precipice where the internet is going through another cycle. In many industries, I feel that Africa as a whole missed out. And so as a passionate African, I think it's important that our people get to know these things. And that's why I personally have made a push alongside my partners to see how we can basically introduce and educate people on Web3. Ghana Unity DAO is basically a resource. It's an incubator for people in this space. The youth is the targeted market. It does not mean that people that are not youthful cannot be targeted, but what it does mean is that we feel the youth are the most precious aspects of our civilization on the continent, and we need to empower them.
Speaking at the event, co-founder of Harmony One, Ziwang, emphasized the need for Web3 in Ghana.
This question can be answered in thinking about inputs and outputs. In terms of inputs, I think Africa and Ghana specifically have tremendous amount of vitality in terms of youth, the population, natural resources, and also culture. But the output there is actually the bridge, which is Web3. The idea there is for Web3 to actually create a true economic engine that's about wealth creation. But on the other side, the output, the bridge on the other side is about ownership. How do you enable millions of youth, the millions of participants in Web3, to have a true sense of ownership in the wealth they're creating?
The Semantic Web provides a common framework that allows data to be shared and reused across applications, enterprises, and community boundaries. It is a collaborative effort led by W3C with participation from a large number of researchers and industrial players.
As Ghana marks Girls in ICT Day, females from selected tertiary and second cycle schools have been exposed to the operations of the Accra Digital Centre and Digital Transformation Hub. The move is to get the beneficiary girls abreast of happenings of the center and take advantage of entrepreneurship skills and the digital hub and various offers that it gives. We have more in this report.
Under the theme Access and Safety, this year's Girls in ICT Day is focused on accessibility and safety of digital platforms. According to the Accra Digital Centre and its partners, the idea of exposing the girls to its operations will get them to understand some key opportunities available. Here is Ivy Lawson, Executive Director at the Digital Transformation Hub, explaining to Joy Business.
To expose them to the Accra Digital Centre, we are going to tour the centre because most Ghanaian girls don't know the center. They don't know what they could do with the digital space. We have the tech lab. They do a lot of things. They do prototypes. They do digital marketing. They do a lot of training. And we are here because we want to start a journey with the public schools. And we want to do accelerator for students, technology accelerator for students.
Ivy Lawson, however, assured that male-led businesses can take advantage of the opportunities at the hub.
International children for diversity, for equity, for inclusion. That is why we created the Digital Transformation Hub. And at the hub, you can learn coding, you can learn robotics, you can learn animation. We do C++, we do almost all the programming, and we also let the girls or the boys know that we have arts. Arts is not a crime. When you learn arts, you can dance and make all the money in the world, but do it according to the rules.
That'll be all for the marketplace. I'm Charles Ide, but I'll leave you with today's episode of Funded. Do stay with JoyNews.
Hello guys, you are once again welcome to Funded with me, Dr. Thelma Frimpong-Mensah of the Desert Youth Services and Consultancy. Today, we're talking about personalizing your pitch. A personalized pitch is one that is well rehearsed and you have the confidence anytime you are called upon to present it. Always remember that funders are always looking for people who are confident in their ideas, and you can only gain that confidence when you personalize your pitch. And so, in personalizing your pitch, you should also remember that you pitch your business idea to the right people or to the right investor. For example, it is always easy to get funding from an environmental investor when your project is in line with the environment or anything that has to do with their area of investment. That way, it becomes much easier to receive funding. And so, in personalizing your pitch, try as much as you can to go in for investors who are in line with your idea and exactly what you are doing. Thank you for your time and see you in the next session. Thank you, Labadi Beach, for hosting us.